Good morning, class 5. So for GPS today, I would like you to do another test, same as what we did yesterday. Pause the video, answer the questions, and then come back and we'll go through the answers. And in English, we are going to be looking at the main character in The Man Who Walked Between the Towers. You're going to watching it being read on YouTube as well. So if you're ready to start your GPS test, pause the video, and then once you've finished it, come back and we'll go through the answers. Okay, number 1, add brackets, dashes or commas to the sentence below. So remember, this is for parenthesis for the extra information. The chef, who was very famous, visited our school to show us how to cook his favourite dish. So it doesn't matter which punctuation mark you've used. Okay, so the chef, who was very famous. So again, you could have used dashes or commas as well. So the who was very famous is extra information about the chef, and to check our answer is right, we'll read the rest of the sentence. The chef visited our school to show us how to cook his favourite dish. Okay, that's right. Use each prefix once to make the verbs in the sentence below negative. Write your answers in the spaces. I think I must have de-heard, misheard or disheard you. I have to de-agree, misagree or disagree with your views on this. We need to deconstruct, misconstruct or disconstruct the rocket immediately. So I think I must have misheard you. Okay, so you've not heard them. I have to disagree with your views on this, and we need to deconstruct the rocket immediately. Okay, well done if you got those right. Let's have a look at question 3. Circle the punctuation marks below which can be used to add parenthesis to a sentence. Now the key bit here, punctuation marks, they go as a pair, so it is only this one. One comma is not used to add parenthesis. It is a pair of punctuation. Okay. Number 4, complete the sentence below so that it uses a modal verb. She something know about this. We don't want her to know. So she can't know about this. You could have mustn't. She mustn't. It's so hard to write joined up using this. I'm actually sat in our classroom right now doing this as well. So she can't know about this, she mustn't know about this. Well done if you've got one of those. Number 5, look at the words in the table. Are they relative pronouns or possessive pronouns? Now, we know a lot about relative pronouns, so you might want to start with those. Remember, a possessive pronoun is about something that belongs to somebody or something that is somebody's. So relative pronoun is which, his, possessive, who is relative, where is relative, ours is possessive. So well done if you got those right. In this, the sentence below contains a suffix error. Underline the error and write the correction in the box below. So it's the suffix that is incorrect. So in a panic, Lucy tried to actify the fire alarm. So actify, so it's the suffix that is incorrect. So you should have written activate. She tried to activate the fire alarm. Okay, well done if you got those right. Okay, number 7, look at the article below, underline the relative clauses. Again, the key, there's more than one. So we'll read it first. Weather forecasters have confirmed that the hot weather which arrived last week is here to stay. According to Sunny Shine, who is chief weather reporter for the Weather Channel, temperatures look set to stay high until the end of the month. Now the relative clauses always start with the relative pronouns. So if you find your relative pronouns first, the extra information there is the relative clause. Similar to when you're using parenthesis, relative clause, oh, sorry about that, I'll rub that out. Relative clauses can also be used as parenthesis. Okay, so these have used commas to show the parenthesis. They are your relative clauses. Well done if you got those right. Number 8, which pair of time adverbials and time connectives link the sentences in the box together? We will go to Scotland for Christmas again last week. Then we are thinking of trying somewhere new. We will go to Scotland for Christmas again on Saturday. Firstly, we are thinking of trying somewhere new. We will go to Scotland for Christmas again this year. After that, we are thinking of trying somewhere new. Well done if you ticked this year and after that. Number 9, add commas to the sentence below to make the meaning clear. Every day, even on a school day, I have a big breakfast of coffee, eggs, bacon, toast and cereal. Similar to yesterday's. Okay, we don't have coffee, eggs, bacon and toast all on together. So every day, even on a school day, I have a big breakfast of coffee, eggs, bacon, toast and cereals. Well done if you got those right. Okay, that's the end of GPS. So if you want to pause the video to get your stuff ready for English, then you can. So what you need to do before we do anything, you now need to watch the video of the story being read on YouTube. The link is in your pack, but if you just Google The Man Who Walked Between the Towers story, it will come up. It's about 11 minutes long, so you need to watch that first and then come back to my video. So what are your thoughts on Philippe? I want you to do a little bubble, okay, like this, just a minute. What are your thoughts on Philippe from the story? Okay, so I think he's brave, but I think he's also a little bit silly. Like, what he did wasn't the best thing to do. He was I think he's quite dangerous. I think he's a bit of a risk taker. Actually, I'm going to change dangerous, because he's not dangerous. What he does is dangerous. So I'm going to change that. I think he's quite determined. Okay, so I want you to write some of your thoughts about Philippe around your thought bubble, and then we'll move on. So what impression does the writer give of Philippe? So if you have a look at this sentence from the book, he looked not at the towers but at the space between them and thought, what a wonderful place to stretch a rope, a wire on which to walk. Once the idea came to him, he knew he had to do it. If he saw 3 balls, he had to juggle. If he saw 2 towers, he had to walk. That's how he was. So what impression does that give of Philippe? Now, to me, I think it means he's very determined at what he does. Okay, he's very committed. As soon as he sees 3 balls, he has to juggle. As soon as he sees towers, he has to walk. Okay, he's very committed to what he does. Okay, so what equipment was needed then when he went in near the towers? So how were him and his friends able to get it up onto the roof? How do you think they'll get the cable from one tower to the other? What do you think they might have to do? Should they have broken in? So there are lots of questions for you to think about. Okay, so your task for today is to discuss some of Philippe's traits using evidence and an explanation. So I've got a couple of ideas here that I said. So I think he's determined. I think he's a risk taker, but I also think he's quite lonely. So you need to think of the evidence and explanation from the text. So for determined, I could say he's determined because he never gives up. I'm only writing it briefly in here because I can't fit much in there. Okay, and then you will explain that in a more detail. So if he sees, actually I'll change that. So he's determined because if he sees 3 balls, he has to juggle. Okay, so my explanation, this shows just how determined he is to show off his tricks. Okay, I think he's lonely because in the text it says something like he performs his tricks alone. I think he's a risk taker because he breaks in to try and get up to the top of the towers. Okay, so it's what you think, it's your opinion, okay? And then your writing task is to write a short paragraph to describe your initial thoughts of Philippe. Remember to use evidence to support it as well. Okay, so Philippe appears to be an adventurous character. The writer explains that if he saw 3 balls, he had to juggle, which shows that he is always up for a challenge and can't resist the temptation, no matter what the risk. Some might describe him as a daredevil, others might say he is ludicrous. The character seems to be talented as he's seen juggling, throwing fire and tightrope walking. However, he comes across as being solitary and somewhat lonely, as he never seems to be expressing his talents with anybody else but alone. Okay, so your first task is to think of some traits, use evidence and explain them, and then write a paragraph using some of those traits about Philippe. Okay.